In every workplace, we meet people from different background, culture, and experience. But sometimes, without realizing it, we judge others unfairly. This is where anti-bias training becomes important. However, creating training that truly changes behavior is not easy. In today's presentation, I am NURKHAYRIN QISTINA BINTI AMRAN will discuss the developing effective anti-bias training based on 2020 article by Carter, Oyendo, and Lewis. The main issue highlighted in the article is that anti-bias training, despite being widely used and heavily funded, often fail to produce meaningful or long-lasting results. Organizations spend nearly $8 billion every year of this training program, and research show that many of them are ineffective. This is a major concern because bias impact many areas of organization life, including hiring, promotion, teamwork, and employee mental well-being. When anti-bias training does not work, discrimination and unfair treatment continue, making it difficult to organizations to maintain fairness and diversity. This is why understanding the challenge behind anti-bias training is so important. First key challenge is training treated as a one-time event. Many organizations approach anti-bias training as a single workshop rather than ongoing developmental process. Since bias form over many years through cultural exposure and personal experience, one session cannot undo ingrained habit. Without reinforcement, follow-up activity, or opportunity to practice new behavior, employees naturally revert to their previous pattern. The impact of biased behavior remains largely unchanged, organization resources are wasted, and employees lose trust because the training are ineffectively. Another challenge arises when organizations have unclear or unrealistic training goals. Some expect immediate culture transformation or complete removal of bias after a single session. In reality, training is meant to build awareness and introduce targeted behavioral strategy, not resolve deep structural issue. When goals lack clarity, training content becomes unfocused and participation are unsure of expected outcome. The impact is training appear ineffective due to the poor goal setting, causing leaders to lose confidence and employees feel disengaged and confused. The third is discomfort and resistance during training. Bias-related discussion often trigger emotional reactions such as defensiveness, discomfort, or denial. Majority group employee may feel accused while minority group employee may feel re-traumatized. Without skill facilitation, this emotional response can hinder open dialogue and limit learning. The impact will have low engagement result in minimal attitude or behavioral change, and tension may increase within the workplace and effective relation and collaboration. Ineffective framing of bias also contribute to training challenge. When bias is present as something everyone has or purely unconscious, employee may view it as unavoidable and outside their control. This weakens their sense of responsibility and reduce motivation to make meaningful behavioral change. The impact of accountability decrease, harmful attitude persist, and biased behavior such as microaggression continue with little improvement. Finally, many organizations fail to evaluate whether their anti-bias training is producing measurable results. Without proper assessment, ineffective training continue unchanged for the year. The impact is resources are wasted, bias practice remain unaddressed, and employees lose confidence where repeated training fail to produce visible improvement. The article provides several important recommendations for making anti-bias training more effective. First, the author emphasized that anti-bias training must be part of a larger diversity and inclusion strategy rather than a stand-alone activity. Training can raise awareness, but it will not create real change if the organization policy, leadership, and culture do not support fairness. This means company must also improve hiring system, promotion process, reporting mechanism, and organization accountability. When training is supported by a strong policy and a culture that value inclusion, employees are more likely to apply when they learn. Second, the article highlights that effective anti-bias training must combine with awareness building with practical behavioral skills. Awareness helps employees understand what bias is and how it affects their decision, but knowing is not the same as doing. Employees also need concrete strategy they can use in real situations, such as slowing down decision making, using structural evaluation criteria, or checking assumptions before acting. By combining knowledge with practical tools, training becomes more actionable and impactful. The third recommendation is for organizations to embrace what the author called productive discomfort. Discussion about bias can emotionally challenging and participants may feel defensive or uncomfortable. However, this discomfort is not a bad thing. is a part of meaningful learning. When guided properly, discomfort encourages reflection, self-awareness, and personal growth. Instead of avoiding sensitive topics, facilitators should create a safe environment where honest conversation can happen, helping participants confront difficult truths and lead to real behavior change. Next, the article recommended that trainers teach only a few specific behavior change strategies rather than overwhelming employees with too many. When participants receive too many tips or techniques, they may forget them or struggle to apply them in daily life. By focusing on 2 or 3 practical, easy-to-use strategy, employees are more likely to remember the tool and use them consistently. This makes the training more focused and increase the chance of a long-term change. Finally, the article say the importance of evaluation training outcome. Many organizations conduct anti-bias training but fail to assess whether it actually works. Evaluation allows company to measure change in employee knowledge, attitude, and behavior. It can also reveal whether the training influences workplace diversity, fairness, and decision making. Without evaluation, organization cannot determine if the training is effective or how it can be improved. Therefore, ongoing assessment is essential to ensure the anti-bias training lead to meaningful and lasting. In conclusion, anti-bias training is an essential part of training and development, but it faces many challenges that reduce its effectiveness. The article by Carter and colleagues show that poorly designed training, unclear goal, resistance for participants, and lack of evaluation all contribute to weak results. However, with proper structure, realistic goals, strong facilitation, and continued evaluation, anti-bias training can play a key role creating a workplace that is fair, inclusive, and equitable. Understanding the challenge is important for improving future training program and ensuring meaningful change. Okay, that's it. Bye!